The NASCAR offseason, often dubbed the silly season, has evolved beyond just driver signings and crew chief swaps. Sponsorship battles now dominate the headlines, reflecting the growing challenge teams face in securing the funding necessary to compete. One such a storyline brewing is Joe Gibbs Racing's attempt to secure a new sponsor for Denny Hamlin's number 11 car in the wake of FedEx's departure. Adding intrigue, JGR's potential target happens to be a current partner of RFK Racing, the team co-owned by Brad Keselowski. RFK Racing set the stage for this rivalry by pulling off a major coup, signing Kroger, a sponsor historically associated with JGR, as part of their expansion efforts. The move not only strengthens RFK Racing's position, but also paves the way for a third car in 2025, driven by Ryan Preece. Kroger's departure leaves JGR scrambling for a replacement sponsor, and now it appears they're eyeing Kings Hawaiian, a family-owned bakery that has been with RFK Racing since 2022. While Kings Hawaiian has enjoyed solid exposure with RFK Racing, Kroger's arrival has introduced complications. Kroger's vast portfolio includes brands like Bimbo Bakeries, which poses a potential conflict of interest for Kings Hawaiian. Reports indicate that Kings Hawaiian is exploring opportunities with other NASCAR teams, and JGR is at the forefront of suitors looking to capitalize on the situation. According to Sports Business Journal, Kings Hawaiian has been in discussions with multiple teams about a potential switch for the 2025 season. For JGR, this presents a golden opportunity to address their sponsorship void while striking back at RFK Racing. With Denny Hamlin's numbered 11 car in need of a primary backer, Kings Hawaiian aligns perfectly as a marquee sponsor, capable of funding a significant portion of the team's operations. Despite these developments, RFK Racing is not expected to let Kings Hawaiian go without a fight. The bakery brand has been a consistent partner for RFK Racing, prominently featured on Brad Keselowski's number 6 Ford Mustang over the past 2 seasons. RFK's recent expansion plans, bolstered by the addition of Kroger and Ryan Preece, are designed to solidify their standing as a competitive force. Losing Kings Hawaiian would be a setback for the team, undermining the momentum built by securing Kroger. The battle for Kings Hawaiian also underscores a broader issue in NASCAR: the increasing difficulty of retaining high-profile sponsors. In recent years, brands like M&M's, Geeko, and now potentially Kings Hawaiian have opted to leave the sport altogether. This trend is concerning for teams like JGR and RFK Racing, as it signals a shrinking pool of sponsors willing to commit to the financial demands of NASCAR. Adding complexity to the situation, Hendrick Motorsports could also emerge as a contender for Kings Hawaiian. With Hooters recently scaling back its sponsorship of Chase Elliott, HMS has open inventory for limited races, presenting another lucrative option for the bakery brand. The appeal of aligning with NASCAR's most popular driver and one of its premier teams might sway Kings Hawaiian in a different direction altogether. As it stands, JGR's bid for Kings Hawaiian remains speculative, with no official statements from the brand or either team. However, if JGR successfully secures the sponsorship, it would mark a significant win for the team after losing FedEx and serve as a direct counter to RFK Racing's acquisition of Kroger. For RFK, retaining Kings Hawaiian is crucial to maintaining their sponsor portfolio and supporting their ambitious growth plans. This high-stakes tug-of-war highlights how sponsorships have become as competitive as the on-track battles, with teams maneuvering strategically to secure their financial futures. Whether Kings Hawaiian stays with RFK Racing, joins JGR, or exits NASCAR altogether, the decision will likely have ripple effects on the sport's sponsorship landscape heading into the 2025 season. In years past, NASCAR teams often had the luxury of choosing among multiple interested sponsors, eager to align with the sport's broad fan base. Today, that landscape has shifted dramatically. Brands like M&M's, Geeko, and FedEx, long-standing partners, have exited the sport, leaving a smaller pool of potential sponsors. The result is intense competition, with teams forced to court multiple smaller partners to meet funding requirements. Kings Hawaiian's potential departure from RFK Racing, coupled with JGR's efforts to secure them, highlights the growing difficulty of retaining sponsors. For teams without strong results or marketable drivers, the challenge becomes even greater, potentially widening the gap between top-tier teams and mid-tier competitors. While powerhouse organizations like Hendrick Motorsports, JGR, and RFK Racing engage in high-stakes sponsorship negotiations, smaller teams may find themselves further marginalized. Sponsors looking for maximum exposure often gravitate toward well-established teams, leaving underfunded operations to scrape by with smaller deals. This dynamic risks reducing competitiveness across the field, as teams unable to secure adequate funding struggle to invest in performance upgrades. Kings Hawaiian's possible exit from RFK Racing due to brand conflicts with Kroger highlights another layer of complexity in NASCAR's sponsorship model. Retail giants like Kroger, which leverage their sponsorships to promote a wide range of affiliated brands, may inadvertently push away other sponsors with competing products. This trend could discourage new sponsors from entering the sport, fearing similar conflicts. The departure of full-season sponsors like FedEx has prompted a shift toward limited race deals, where brands sponsor select events rather than an entire season. While this approach allows sponsors to test the waters without committing substantial resources, it forces teams to juggle multiple partnerships to fill their schedules. This model can strain resources as teams must dedicate additional effort to managing these relationships while delivering value for each sponsor. Star drivers with established fan bases, like Chase Elliott or Denny Hamlin, remain critical in attracting and retaining sponsors. However, as seen with Hendrick Motorsports losing Hooters as a sponsor for Elliott, even the sport's most popular drivers aren't immune to sponsorship challenges. This underscores the need for teams to develop creative marketing strategies and maintain strong on-track performances to maximize their appeal. Reports suggesting that Kings Hawaiian could leave NASCAR altogether if no suitable deal is reached mirror broader concerns about the sport's ability to retain sponsors. This trend, if it continues, could have serious implications for the health of the sport. Fewer sponsors mean fewer opportunities for teams to secure funding, which could lead to smaller grids and reduced competition. To counter these challenges, NASCAR and its teams will need to innovate. This could include offering more flexible sponsorship packages, creating new advertising opportunities, such as digital and streaming integrations, and fostering deeper relationships with existing partners to ensure long-term commitments. Additionally, NASCAR itself may need to step in, offering incentives or guidance to keep sponsors engaged and ensure the sport's financial stability. The sponsorship battles of 2025, exemplified by JGR's pursuit of Kings Hawaiian, are a microcosm of larger issues within NASCAR's financial ecosystem. As the sport navigates these challenges, the ability to attract and retain sponsors will be pivotal in determining its future growth and competitive balance. Whether teams in NASCAR can adapt to this new reality will ultimately shape the sport's trajectory in the years to come. The battle for Kings Hawaiian encapsulates the shifting dynamics of NASCAR's sponsorship ecosystem, where securing funding has become as fiercely contested as winning on the track. For Joe Gibbs Racing, landing Kings Hawaiian would be a crucial victory, filling the void left by FedEx and delivering a much-needed boost to Denny Hamlin's number 11 team. For RFK Racing, retaining the bakery brand is equally critical, not only for its financial impact, but also for preserving the momentum sparked by their partnership with Kroger and their expansion plans. This saga underscores a broader reality. The days of effortless sponsorship deals are long gone, replaced by a climate of heightened competition, increased brand conflicts, and a shrinking pool of interested partners. Kings Hawaiian's decision, whether to remain with RFK Racing, switch to JGR, or step away from NASCAR altogether, will likely ripple through the sport, setting a precedent for how teams and sponsors navigate the complexities of modern partnerships. It also highlights the growing divide between NASCAR's top-tier teams, with their ability to attract and retain high-profile sponsors, and smaller teams struggling to stay afloat. If major sponsors like Kings Hawaiian leave, it raises concerns about the long-term viability of some organizations, potentially shrinking the grid and reducing competitiveness. Meanwhile, the allure of aligning with a top driver like Denny Hamlin or Chase Elliott adds another layer of complexity as sponsors weigh brand visibility against the performance and marketability of individual drivers. For Hendrick Motorsports, which is also in the mix, this represents an opportunity to fill its own sponsorship gaps and leverage the star power of Elliott to attract new partners. Ultimately, NASCAR must confront the underlying issues driving these sponsorship battles. Innovation will be key, whether through more flexible sponsorship arrangements, integrated digital marketing opportunities, or incentives for long-term partnerships. Without proactive measures, the sport risks losing not just sponsors, but the financial stability and competitive balance that have defined its appeal for decades. The resolution of this saga will not only shape the 2025 season, but also serve as a bellwether for NASCAR's ability to adapt to an evolving commercial landscape. As teams scramble to secure their financial futures, the onus is on NASCAR itself to foster an environment where sponsors see long-term value, ensuring the sport's sustainability in an increasingly challenging market.